Hello everyone, you're welcome back to Addie's chat. My name is Adiola. Most people call me Addie. Thank you so much for joining the chat today. To all existing subscribers, thank you so much for being here every single Friday, every time I post a video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to those that comment. Thank you, I really appreciate it. To all the new subscribers, a few people have joined. Thank you so much for clicking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it as well. It's another Friday. It's another beautiful Friday. The weather has been great this week. It's been a really good week. The kids are back to school. I'm sure they're all settling in very well this week. Really, it's good to have them back in school. And it's good to have such a lovely weather. I don't know how long it will last for, but yes, it's good to have such lovely weather. Yes, long time no see, no hear, long time. Yeah, it's been a long time. I haven't actually done a proper sit down video to talk about, or a proper sit down chat actually to talk about the things that I usually talk about on this channel. But today I am doing one. I'm really excited and I'm really happy that I've got a bit of time to do one, at least one video today, really. Yes. So today I'm going to be talking about something that I recently found out about. It's a grant that can help to support people getting into work or getting back to work, or support people at work, really, essentially. That can practical support or any additional support that people need at work. It's a grant that can help them. If this is something you'll be interested in, stick around, really. God of Abraham, you're the God of covenant. So as I was saying, today I'm talking about a grant that could help people get back into work and support them into work. I recently found out about this grant, and it's a government grant, really. A lot of information is available on it on the government website. If you go to www.gov.co.uk, you will find the information there. I think it's www.gov.uk actually, but I will leave the link to this particular grant in the description below. I will leave the link so you can check it out then. Really, the way they have structured this grant, they've called it access to work. Get support if you're disabled or if you have a health condition. Get support. But the reason I'm saying, or the reason I want to talk about it, is because there's a lot of other temporary conditions that can also be helped with this grant. I've got notes here, so I will be looking down actually so I can give you the right information. So as I said, this is a grant to help people pay for support or practical support with work. It supports with managing mental health at work as well, and physical health as well, and long-term and temporary health condition, not long-term health condition. There is another benefit if people have long-term health condition. Yes. So really, this grant has to do with physical or mental health condition or disability that means that you need support at your job. For you to be eligible, you have to be 16 or over. You have to be in paid work or be able to start or return to work within 12 weeks. So essentially, this is people that are looking to go back into work within 12 weeks, within 3 months. Is that right here? Within 3 months, people that are looking to go back to work within 12 weeks, really. Maybe for some reason or some reason or the other, really. Maybe a short maybe someone broke their leg, for instance, and they need a lot of support to get back into work. So this is the type of grant that would help them to get back into work in a short period of time, really. And another thing is, you must live and work in England, Scotland and Wales. There's a different system in Northern Ireland, so England, Scotland and Wales, this would apply to them, really. Okay, let's go back and just have a look just to see how it works, really. This access to work helps you to get work and stay in work if you have a physical or mental health condition. I've said that. I've talked about this being a practical grant, so there will be some money awarded to whoever applies for this to help them with practical things that would help support them into work. It can help also, this can also pay for managing people's mental health, people that need to see a therapist or something like that, people that are on a that would like to go through to get mental health just the mental health journey, really. This can also help, and this would also help to pay for communication support at job interviews. So these are people who have, if there's a language barrier, things like that, really, but they know they can do the job. This would help to pay. The help with this also could pay for practical things like taxi fares. And if people need to go to an interview, luckily a lot of interviews are done online these days, but if people need to go to an interview that's a bit further away from where they live, they can get this grant to pay for them to get a taxi there and back, really. Also to get a support worker or a coach to coach them for the interview, really. This grant can help them, really. Or someone to coach them or to help them in the workplace, to coach them for the workplace as well. This grant can help them, really. A few things that this grant will not do. For instance, this grant will not be able to pay for reasonable adjustment. These are things that employers are legally expected to do to support you in your job. So this grant will not pay for that if it's something that your employer can do, really. So there is an eligibility criteria. I've talked a little bit about living in England, Scotland, and Wales. Northern Ireland has something similar but very different. You have to be age 16 over. You have to be ready to commit to work or to start work within 12 weeks, really. Yes, so applying for the grant itself, is the application form, really is on that page, and I will share that page. You will need your contact details, you will need the workplace address and postcode. So essentially, I think you should have secured the job before you apply for this grant, or if you're going for an interview, really, you should have all these details: the name of the employer or a contact person within the employment. They should be they will not be contacted without your permission, but you need a name from them, an email address, and work of and a work contact as well for you. If you're self-employed at the minute, or if you're self-employed and you need this grant, because you could also get it if you're self-employed, you need your unique taxpayer reference, UTR number, and also you need information about your condition and how it affects the work that you want to do and the support you think you need. You need all this information before you apply. And it's straightforward. You can apply online, and there's also a contact number, a helpline. I will put that on the screen. Actually, there's a helpline. It's 0800-121-7479. So you can apply through that if you want to do that. After you have applied for the grant, someone from the team would contact you, and they will talk to you about the application. If a phone call might be difficult for you, for instance, if you're hard of hearing, if you're deaf, really, and a phone call will be a difficult option, you can ask them to communicate to you via email, and they will do that. The person will contact you for more information, for permission to speak to the employer or the place that you've gone for the employment. They would ask you for permission to speak to them, and they would arrange for an assessor to call you. So there is somebody that would assess, will call you, really, and view your workplace by video call or in person to find out how they might help you. So there's a lot of help. As I said, there's a lot of help that they can give, but this assessor needs to assess, needs to see you in the workplace, or needs to see you in your home to find out to know exactly what help is needed, to know where they can come in, what they can support with. And even if you haven't written everything, the assessor, I believe, will be able to pick up on other things that you might need support with. And then after that, once you've had the assessor do that video or in-person assessment, really, you will get a letter with a decision and an explanation, and it tells you how much grant you will get and when it will be paid. It's as simple and as straightforward as that, really. Quite a few people have actually applied for this. It's worked. As I was saying, there was someone who had some injury to their leg, really, and they needed support to be going to work with a cab, really, for a period of, I think, 2 months or so, really, and this grant really did help them to do that. The one thing with this grant is, if your circumstances change within the period that you applied, if you feel that maybe, for instance, you got better or you got another help, for instance, if you're on a mental health journey and you've got another sponsor or somebody else to pay for for your treatment or your sessions, really, you should let them know as soon as there's a change of circumstance. Really, you need to let them know. Yes, and it's the same helpline, really. So once they get the decision to you, the decision is, again, is up to that team. It's up to the assessment that they do, really. That's how they will decide whether you get the grant or not. But essentially, most people that would be looking to apply for this grant would already have a health condition. You can also add any documents, anything from your GP, any of your medical records, to show that this is a condition that you have. Some conditions will be quite straightforward and they would know how to step in, really. Some conditions will be new and they would have to go through the assessment, really, and yes, and they would know how to step in. So that's it, really. So for people looking to go back to work, where they have where their needs, especially with the cost of living crisis, really, where there are things that could support people to go back to work, this is a good grant, I would say, that would be helpful for people to go back to work. For instance, even if it's somebody that takes the bus to work, but because they've got an injury for a period of time, they're not able to do that, this grant will be very good in terms of, it could help them really get back into what they're doing. For people that work at home, whether they have to make an adjustment to their home office, really, this grant would also be a good thing to help them, really. Yes, so this is all about the grant. I'll put the link there. There's so many things about once you get the decision, how to claim the money. Really, you probably have to create an account to claim the money. You definitely, not probably, you definitely have to create an account, which would include just having an email address, a mobile number, your national insurance number, and you need to prove your ID using two things. I believe you could use your passport, a pay slip, bank statement, all the regular things, utility bill, tax, credit statements, really, all the regular things that you use to prove who you are, really. And there is a direct link online as well for people to claim the money. I suppose when you click on the claim the money and you have gone through everything, that you will be asked to actually put your account number. If you cannot claim online or you don't do things online, do not worry, because you can claim by post as well. There's a paper form that you can complete and they will return it. You can return it to them, and you will need to include invoices or receipts or anything that you have paid for previously. For instance, if you had already paid for the cab or paid for some arrangements to your home office, really, you would include the invoices there, and then they can pay you back. Yes, so it's really straightforward, really straightforward. Yeah, it's very straightforward. If the grant runs out, for instance, if the grant runs out and you think that you still need more money to support yourself, really, you can contact them as well. Yes, you can contact them if you need more money after once the grant that they've given runs out. But if you kind of take your time to do the application, you should have been able to maybe make a budget, make reasonable allowance for any changes that could come really within the course of the period, especially if you're making changes to your office or making changes to, but just make reasonable adjustments. There are things that, for instance, there could be an additional cost of maybe £20, £30. I'm just saying, there could be, just make that, just put that in it, really, when you're doing the grant. I think this grant, it's a step in the right direction. A lot of people don't know about it because it's not out there. Rather than jumping on a benefit claim that most people will be where most people could be declined, actually, really, and people that are still looking to go back into work, but this is just a temporary phase and they just need support. This grant is actually really good, and also pleased that they have included mental health in it, really, because there are grants that don't really cover mental health, but this does. So if people need mental health support at work, which is a real thing, this grant could help them, really. There are some organizations that they have listed, really, really that could help people in terms of that. But look at the website, take your time, have a look at it. Really, I'll put the link, have a look at it, read through. If this is something that would help you or help someone else, please share with them. Yes, so this is I've come to the end today. If you have any questions about this, you can ask me. I know that I have got a few questions from people. To be honest, going back a few good months, I've got a few questions. I have tried to reply some people on email, and yes, if I haven't replied, I might do something with just the answering questions on the channel. I might just do something, and I hope I'm not too late for some people as well. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And yes, have a good weekend, everyone. God bless. Bye.